अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। उम्मीद करता हूँ तमाम देखने और सुनने वाले खैरियत से होंगे और ठीक-ठाक होंगे। जैसे कि हमारा कॉल के ऊपर जो है हम रोज़ाना बात करते हैं, चैटजीपीटी से इसके ऊपर डिस्कस करते हैं, चैटजीपीटी से सवालात करते हैं गोल्स के मुतल्लिक और चैटजीपीटी हमें उसके बारे में बताता है, हमारे साथ डिस्कशन करता है और उसको पूरी गहराई में उसकी चीज़ें हमें बताता है कि ये चीज़ इस तरह होती है। तो फिर चलते हैं दोबारा चैटजीपीटी की तरफ और आज जो है फिर इस मौज़ू का आगाज़ करते हैं। हमारा जो एजुकेशन के ऊपर चल रहा है उसी को हम आज रखेंगे कंटिन्यू। सो चैटजीपीटी से करते हैं स्टार्ट। चैटजीपीटी से शुरू करते हैं बात। तो हेलो चैटजीपीटी।
बिल्कुल। Hello, how's it going? Feel free to your mind.
Okay, ChatGPT, our continue goals topic, education and discussion. So continue a question for education and more discussion deeply. So my first question, uh, it's education in Pakistan elegant with employment needs.
That's a great question. In Pakistan, the alignment between education and employment needs has often been a challenge. While there are efforts to bridge the gap, many educational programs still focus more on theoretical knowledge rather than practical skills. As a result, graduates sometimes find it difficult to meet the demands of the job market. There's a growing emphasis on incorporating vocational training, technical education, and industry specifics better align education with employment needs. It's definitely an ongoing journey of improvement.
Is that technical education be neglect in Pakistan?
Education in Pakistan has often been neglected due to a variety of reasons. One key factor is a traditional emphasis on education, limited investment in vocational training infrastructure and facilities. There's also a societal bias that sometimes views technical education as less valuable compared to professional degrees. Furthermore, a lack of coordination between industry needs and educational curriculum has contributed to the gap. Addressing these issues requires a cultural shift, increased funding, and better alignment with market demands.
Why is there a gap between madrasa and modern education system?
The gap between the madrasa and modern education systems in Pakistan often arises from differences in curriculum, teaching methods, and objectives. Madrasas typically focus on religious education, emphasizing Islamic studies, theology, and traditional languages like Arabic and Persian. On the other hand, modern education systems generally provide a more diverse curriculum that includes science, mathematics, technology, and humanities. Additionally, modern schools often have better infrastructure, more trained teachers, and access to technology. These differences can lead to varying educational outcomes and sometimes a lack of integration between the two systems. Bridging this gap often involves promoting more inclusive curricula, better collaboration, and mutual understanding between both educational approaches.
Okay. Why does
Absolutely. If you have any more questions or
why does education quality vary across province in Pakistan?
the variation in education quality across provinces in Pakistan can be attributed to several factors, which can affect resources, capacity, and governance, leading to inconsistencies in policy implementation. Socioeconomic disparities among provinces can also play a big role, impacting access to education and the quality of facilities. Additionally, cultural and political influences can shape the priorities and focus of education in each province. All of these elements combined create a complex landscape for educational quality across the country.
Okay, ChatGPT. So, does education promote social mobility in Pakistan?
Absolutely. Education plays a crucial role in promoting social mobility in Pakistan. By providing individuals with knowledge and skills, education opens up opportunities for better employment, higher income, and improved living standards. It can help break the cycle of poverty and empower people from marginalized communities to access better prospects. Over time, a more educated population contributes to overall social and economic development, fostering a more equitable society. So definitely education is a powerful tool for social mobility in the country.
Okay. Are there enough school in Pakistan?
The availability of schools in Pakistan is quite varied. In urban areas, there's generally better access to schools, and you'll find a relatively higher density of educational institutions. However, in rural and remote areas, there are often significant gaps. Many rural regions face challenges like a lack of schools, inadequate infrastructure, and a shortage of teachers. This leads to disparities in access and quality. Overall, while there's a substantial number of schools, there's still a need for more equitable distribution and better infrastructure, especially in less developed areas.
Okay. My next.
Of course, feel free to ask your next question whenever you're.
Why is education
Got it. Whenever you're.
monitoring weak in Pakistan? Why is education monitoring weak in Pakistan?
The weakness in education monitoring in Pakistan can be attributed to a few key factors. One major reason is a lack of sufficient resources, including personnel and funding, which makes consistent and thorough monitoring difficult. Another factor is administrative inefficiencies and sometimes a lack of coordination between different levels of government. There can also be issues like political interference, which can impact the objectivity and effectiveness of monitoring efforts. Additionally, data collection and analysis systems may not be as robust or up to date, leading to gaps in oversight. Addressing these challenges requires stronger institutional frameworks, better investment, and improved coordination.
Okay. What is the quality of textbook in Pakistan?
The quality of textbooks in Pakistan can vary quite a bit. In some cases, textbooks are well structured and updated, providing comprehensive and relevant content. However, in other instances, textbooks may suffer from outdated information, lack of alignment with modern educational standards, and sometimes even biased or incomplete content. Additionally, inconsistencies can arise due to differences in provincial curricula and the availability of resources. Efforts are being made to improve textbook quality by incorporating more modern pedagogical approaches and ensuring better oversight and standardization. Overall, there's ongoing work to enhance the quality and relevance of educational materials.
Okay. Does education in Pakistan promote critical thinking?
The extent varies across different educational institutions and levels. In some progressive schools and higher education institutions, there's a strong emphasis on developing analytical skills, encouraging debate, and fostering independent thought. However, in many public schools, the focus tends to be more on rote learning and memorization, which can limit opportunities for critical thinking. There's definitely a growing movement to integrate more critical and creative thinking into the curriculum, but it's still a work in progress across the board.
Okay. Why does rote learning dominate?
For a few reasons. One major factor is the traditional education system, which often emphasizes memorization over critical analysis. There's also the pressure of standardized exams where students are tested primarily on their ability to recall information. This creates an environment where memorization is rewarded. Additionally, there can be a lack of training for teachers and modern pedagogical methods that promote critical thinking. So the cultural factors, including the value placed on exam results for future opportunities, also reinforce rote learning. Overall, it's a combination of systemic, cultural, and structural factors that keep it prevalent.
Okay. What is the state of digital education in Pakistan?
Digital education in Pakistan is growing, but it still faces several challenges. In urban areas, there's relatively better access to technology, internet connectivity, and digital learning tools, especially in private schools and higher education institutions. However, in rural regions, the digital divide is more pronounced with limited access to reliable internet, fewer devices, and less infrastructure for online learning. The COVID-19 pandemic did accelerate the adoption of digital education, prompting initiatives to improve e-learning platforms and resources. That said, there's still a lot of room for growth in terms of infrastructure, teacher training, and creating inclusive digital access for all students.
Okay. Nations Pakistan.
The reliability of the examination system in Pakistan can vary. On one hand, the system is designed to maintain standardized assessments across different schools and regions, but it often faces challenges like inconsistencies in marking, occasional biases, and sometimes a lack of transparency. Another issue is the heavy reliance on memorization, which can sometimes undermine the assessment of critical thinking skills. Additionally, logistical issues such as exam security and timely grading can sometimes affect reliability. That said, there are ongoing efforts to modernize and improve the examination system to make it more transparent and fair.
And Pakistan education system alignate with future needs.
In many cases, Pakistan's education system does face challenges in aligning with future needs. One reason is that the curriculum often emphasizes traditional academic subjects rather than practical and vocational skills. This can lead to a gap between what students learn and what's actually needed in the evolving job market, especially in areas like technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Additionally, there can be a slower adoption of modern teaching methods and technology integration, which can further widen the gap. However, there are ongoing reforms aimed at making the education system more future-oriented, including incorporating STEM education, critical thinking, and digital literacy. It's definitely a work in progress.
Okay, ChatGPT. How to better education in Pakistan?
Improving education in Pakistan involves a multifaceted approach. Some key steps include increasing investment in educational infrastructure and resources, ensuring better training and professional development for teachers, and modernizing curricula to include critical thinking, STEM education, and digital skills. Expanding access to technology and internet, especially in rural areas, is also crucial. Additionally, fostering public-private partnerships can help bring in more resources and innovative approaches. Lastly, emphasizing inclusivity and gender equality in education will help ensure that all students have equal opportunities. It's definitely a collaborative effort that requires commitment from all sectors of society.
Thank you, ChatGPT, in this topic related discussion and more information.
You're very welcome. I'm glad we could chat about these topics. If you have any more questions or need further details in the future, just let me know. I'm always here to help. Until then, take care and have a great day.
तो जी नाज़रीन, ये था आज का हमारा मौजू जिसके ऊपर हमने की बात। तब तक दीजिए हमें इजाज़त। एक नई वीडियो के साथ आपके होंगे फिर मुलाकात। तब तक रखिएगा अपना ख्याल। अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।